This episode of the Willfull Thinking Podcast is brought to you by Sierra Hills Roofing. If it's time for a new roof in the greater Sacramento area, contact Sierra Hills Roofing at 916-975-5095 or by email at sierrahillsroof@gmail.com. Today's guest is social media influencer and Sacramento-based entrepreneur Nikki B, or Nikki Arstingstall. She's a mom, a realtor with Realty One Group, a spin instructor, and a contributor for NBC Sports' annual broadcast of the American Century Championship. She shares some great stories about her time playing college golf at Sacramento State, her experience winning Golf Channel's Shopmakers TV show, and what it's like being Insta-famous. I'm so grateful for her spending some time with us, and we hope you enjoy this episode of the Willfull Thinking Podcast with today's guest, Nikki B. Ladies and gentlemen, WTFs, that's my Willfull Thinking fans.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Welcome to the Willfull Thinking Podcast. Today's guest, Nikki B. In relation to Cardi B.
Okay.
You probably get that all the time.
All the time, because we look so much alike.
For sure.
And our personalities are like basically the same.
Totally.
Like I do that all the time. No, I love Cardi B though.
Yeah.
A big Cardi B fan. I always like to joke that like if you took Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and put them together, then you get Nikki B.
Yeah.
But I'm really nothing like either.
I thought they were the same person for a long time, way too long. Kind of like the Harris English Hudson Swafford deal on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's so
I thought those guys were the same for a while too. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you for
doing this. Make sure you like and subscribe. We really appreciate that, and all the feedback, all you guys watching. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
So exciting.
So
fun.
Well, I had you on today because we actually have gotten a lot of feedback about a couple of the golf episodes or golf-related episodes that I've done. I was a PGA professional for 11 years. No longer in service. I'm a recovering PGA professional.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. So I am out of the golf business, but I've had a couple guests on that still have some involvement in golf, and here you are. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that. You were on a pretty famous show on Golf Channel, Shopmakers, right?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yes.
You're the winner.
I was the winner.
Yes.
So my partner, Brad, and I won. So it's actually kind of crazy how it all happened. My whole goal after college was to work for the Golf Channel. So I was doing my own thing, the social media thing, blogging and YouTubing at that time and reviewing golf product and just really taking any opportunity that came my way. Networked a bunch with Golf Channel people, and then we would go to the Orlando PGA show, and that's where I made like really good solid connections there. And then I got asked, it was about a month later, they were like, hey, do you want to be on a new reality competition show we're going to have? And I was like, absolutely, sign me up. Yeah. Because in college, I wanted to go on the big break after I graduated, but they got rid of it. It was
R.I.P.
Yeah. And so I was devastated because I was like, that's what I was going to do. That was going to be my big break. Come to find out, I still had a big break, but on a different show. Yeah. So they picked myself and, other folks, and they paired us up with our partner. So it was like a male and female on a team. And I'd never met this guy before. And I think it was only like maybe a week before we filmed the show, we were able to like connect on the phone and like kind of get to know each other. Yeah. And then we didn't even meet for the first time until we showed up to film the show.
Crazy.
But him and I hit it off really well. Good. And he's such an amazing guy. And we were kind of the underdogs too. Okay. Like both of us, if you compared all the guys and all the girls, we probably had like the least amount of accolades or accomplishments than anybody else. Like we had both never played, on any professional tours at that point. So we were definitely the underdogs. Like I don't think anyone was expecting us to win at all.
So you played college golf at Sac State. Did he play college golf as well?
No, he did not.
Wow.
Yeah. So and he's a few years younger than me too. Okay. So I felt like I was like big sister taking him under my wing. I'm like, Brad, here's what life's really all about. As if I knew at the time. It was like before So before I was married, but I'm like, let me tell you, Brad, this is what the real world is like. Yeah. Silly me.
So how long was the shoot from start to finish? Like a week?
Yeah, it was a week. Yeah. So it was crazy because we would film at night. So our call time would be somewhere in the like late afternoon, early evening. Okay. And we would film till like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. Whoa. And I'm not a night bird. Yeah. And I would just be like falling asleep in between takes and like chugging Red Bull.
Yeah.
Luckily they did provide Red Bull for us,
Right
with
on.
snacks and everything. But yeah, it was like a week straight, and then we would just sleep all day. It was a crazy schedule. I don't even know how I was actually functioning by the last episode.
Where was it filmed?
In Vegas.
In Vegas, okay. At the Top Golf in Vegas.
Yes, yeah. And it was in February, and you would think, I mean, Vegas is usually
Yeah, but it's
decent
still
weather.
cold, right?
February was freezing. There was
Yeah.
one day where it actually snowed.
No way.
Yes. I mean, it was like a little light dusting. It was more of like a hail, but it was kind of like sticking a little
Yeah.
bit. So, yeah, and that's why, I think they wanted all of us girls to like look cute on camera, and in reality, we're like bundled up.
Just freezing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely interesting.
I would have lost immediately on that show because you're on the third story of this Top Golf, and I don't know, like I'm a roofer by trade, so I can get up on heights all the, but something about like swinging and just looking out over this wide open space, I'm like,
It freaks you out?
it freaks me out for some reason because
you get on roofs.
Yeah, I know, but I'm on roofs a lot of times if I'm that high too, like I'm attached to it in some way. And I'm also not like shifting my body or swinging a golf club, at full speed. So
Valid point.
I don't know. I've never been comfortable on the third. I can do second story all day.
But the third, no way.
It freaks me out at Top Golf. I don't know what the deal is.
Nets.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. It'd catch you.
We hope. Let's hope we never find out.
Yeah. We'll never find out.
God.
Yeah.
That's great. So how long ago was that?
Oh gosh, that was right before I got married, and that was kind of like my story going into it, because they're like, "Why do you want to win?" And I'm like, "If I win, I'm like, this money's going toward my wedding.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be to pay for my wedding by winning this show?"
Pretty cool.
So that was 2017 because we got. Actually, no, early 2018.
Okay.
Because I think we filmed in February 2018, and then we got married October 2018.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys have been married, this is 7 years.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty serious.
Crazy.
Holy cow.
I know.
Yeah, a couple of kids.
Yeah, we got 2 kids.
Yeah.
So I guess we're in it.
You're in it.
Yeah, I'm in it.
We have 3. It's are you done it too, or are you still thinking about it?
I want a third. Tell me all about having a third.
It was a
Should we
complete
do it?
accident. I will say that. I'll share the whole story. So I was on the docket, on the schedule to get snipped, to get fixed. COVID hits.
Okay.
So I set this appointment in February of 2020.
Okay.
COVID hits in April.
Yep.
June we're pregnant. So because it's an elective procedure that was postponed by the doctor. And then it was no longer elective after that. I was like, no, we're doing this. I don't care what the regulations say. All right. So we had our daughter, our third. We had boy, girl. And we tried our best to make it a surprise. Because we had boy, girl. It didn't matter, right? So the doctor, her OB, was not doing the scans or the ultrasound the day that we went in for it's probably her third visit. And the temp comes in and is like, all right, well, let's take a look at this little girl. And we're both like,
no.
It was awful. Because we were trying to figure names and maybe do boy and girl names. And everything. No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
well,
spoiled.
That's a good to know, because same thing. We have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
So if we do go for a third, I'm like, I don't want to find out the gender, and I want to get have some unisex names so we could pick maybe one name or 2 names that we like, and it doesn't matter either way. But that would be, if we decided to, I mean, what a spoiler.
You have to, I think you just have to remind them every appointment.
Yeah,
You're listen, we're not finding out what it is.
Totally.
And little Adriana.
Oh, so cute. Well,
So,
I mean, what's your best advice for?
Well, what, to have a third?
Yeah.
You don't want that on air. But if you want a boy, leave your socks on. That's tried and true. Okay?
I didn't know that.
Well, not you, your husband. Leave his socks on, okay?
I've never heard that before.
Well, you're welcome. But
you heard it here.
Yeah, you did. Actually, I take no responsibility for that. If my WTFs are out there trying to well, this guy said.
This guy said.
God. People sue anybody these days.
Yes.
So, no,
I mean, they say, I've heard they say, if you are even questioning whether or not you're done, you're probably not done.
Yeah.
When it comes to a third.
Ours was, are you religious at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So I think it's you want to make God laugh, make a plan or something like whatever that expression is. And that is exactly what happened here. Yeah. So, yeah, God decided we were not done.
I love that.
No, but she's been awesome. And actually, so both of our other kids are in school next year. Actually, they're not. My son's first grade, my daughter's TK, and then kind of like a 2-day preschool for Adriana. Yeah. But next year, our middle will be in kindergarten, and they're doing TK at the kindergarten school. Yeah. So all 3 will be in school during the day. Cool. That will be incredible.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm not having to pay for childcare. It is
That is
so
something my folks
expensive.
did not prepare us for.
No,
Right there.
totally.
Well, and things are different from when we were kids, but still, it's whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I did know a family in our daycare, and they had 3 in at one point, and I was like, how are you affording life? Like, that's probably more than your mortgage.
It's like college tuition.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, we love our daycare. I mean, I love them to death.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, holy moly, it's so expensive.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. You should do it.
I know. I mean, I'm really trying. I'm like, come on. And I just want to get it done. I want to get it done and over with.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's 1.5 years now.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, if we're going to do this, let's just do it now. Like, I don't want to, I'm like, I'm ready to just get it done and over.
That's exactly how we spaced them.
Yeah.
They are both 18 months and 17 months. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, my first and my second, they are my 2 kids. I only have 2 right now. But they're 2 years and 9 months apart. So almost 3. And I feel like it's okay because it's, our first is a boy, our second is a girl.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's okay. They have a pretty good age gap. But I'm like, for this, if we have a third, let's go.
So my wife did have a thought about this. She was like, if we get fully out of diapers, I don't know if I could go again.
Yes, totally.
And I get it.
Yeah. I mean, we potty trained my son right before we had my daughter, the month before.
Yeah.
Thank God we did, though, because I don't know how you would potty train a toddler with a baby, and I think you probably had to.
Yeah. It is easier with a boy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm shocked by. I did think it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
Our son just picked it up right away. Both of our daughters took their sweet time.
Oh, no, don't tell that. Great. Here we go.
Yep. But I'm still wiping deuces, though. I'm the youngest. It's just one of those things.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm like, when will this
We're
period
close.
life?
We're very close.
Oh.
I can feel it.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Me, on the other hand, I still got a few more years to go.
You do. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, man.
So what are you doing now? I mean, you're not in golf currently, correct? Other than the American Century Championship.
Correct.
You're a contributor for that.
Yes. So COVID also, the pandemic and all the shutdowns, that kind of changed our life as well.
It's a real son of a bitch, right?
No kidding. I mean, yes. And I will say, I mean, I do believe it's like you said, God laughs at our plans.
Yeah.
Because, my plan was working for the Golf Channel and doing that my whole life. However, I did always know when I started a family, I knew that I would want to kind of slow down because my travel schedule was crazy. Like I was traveling 2-3 times a month, and I just knew, I'm like, I can't do this if I ever have a kid. Like, it's not sustainable, and I want to be home and be with my child. So I knew I was kind of also on the verge of burnout. So that was another, irony there. But I found out I was pregnant the day before we went into lockdown. It was March.
Oh, wow.
I think was it March 7th? It wasn't St. Patrick's Day. It was March 15th or something.
Yeah.
And then we went into lockdown the next day. And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, at that time, we only thought it was going to be like a 2-week thing. But then also Golf Channel had all their layoffs, and I was a part of that group of people that got laid off. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm pregnant and I have no job.
Oh
so what are we going to do now?
Were they still in Florida then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, and of course too, so there was already talks backing up to like the December before. There was like rumors circling that they were going to move their operations up to NBC in Stamford, Connecticut. So I was like, okay, well, that probably won't really affect me anyway because I still worked or lived here in Sacramento, and I would travel for work.
Yeah, sure.
And I went to Orlando here and there, but so I was like, it probably won't affect me because I'm not in headquarters.
Yeah.
But then, joke was on me because it ended up affecting me because I think once the pandemic hit, then they really had to shift what they were doing, as did a lot of other companies. So since I had all that time on my hands, I actually myself had a podcast as well with a friend, and we interviewed a local realtor here in the area, Tim Cullum, and it just in that conversation, I was like, I think I want to get my real estate license.
Yeah.
And before I worked for the Golf Channel, when I was in college and like just after graduation, I had worked in property management, just a little like side gig as a leasing consultant.
My wife did that too.
Yeah. So I was like, I feel like, if the golf thing had never panned out for me, that was probably the route I was going to go anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been interested in real estate. So I was like, well, now's a great time. Like everything shut down. I have so much time to study. And so that's what I did. So I studied for the exam, and then I passed I passed and got my license in October 2020 and then had my son in November 2020.
Right on.
So, yeah. So, and then I've been doing that ever since. So real estate's been amazing. I mean, it's been great.
Pretty good time to do it, frankly.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So, and that's what, I mean, I was definitely forewarned. People are like, just know that this is not the typical market. Like, you are very lucky to be coming into this kind of a market. It's not always going to be like this.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, I did get in kind of right place, right time. But it was great because now I've built my business. I've been in it now 5 years, and it's been going really well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm able to, it's flexible enough to where I can, you know, stay home with my kids some days, and some days they go to daycare. So I feel like I get the best of both worlds. And then I still dabble in golf stuff, like you had mentioned. I work at the American Century Championship every year.
That's got to be so much fun.
Yeah. It's my favorite tournament.
Yeah.
That was the first tournament I worked for Golf Channel, actually.
No way.
So, yeah. So it was really exciting that, after so not the pandemic year, not 2020, because they had a very small group of people that were at the tournament that year. So I didn't go to that one, and I was also pregnant. But the following year, they hired me back. The PR team that works for the tournament, they hired me to help them with their social media. So that was really cool. I got hired on, and kind of it was more on the back end, but I helped them with their social media, and then it's kind of evolved since 2021, and now I'm forward facing on camera doing interviews and stuff. So it's been really cool to see how much we've also grown the social media for the tournament.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been a couple of times. I'm notoriously very awkward around famous people, so I'm shocked that I'm keeping it together as well as I am so far. One of my first guests on this podcast, we told stories about some of the more famous people we met. I've actually played 18 holes with Luke Combs, and I tell that whole story on one of those podcasts. It was wild, awesome day. Until I just forgot how to be a human being. Because he's just too cool, right?
Oh my gosh, I can't
We're
imagine.
gonna park together, and I'm just like, what do I say next? You know, it's like it was just overcome with
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
But you've got to have met some awesome people at that tournament, right?
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorites? Oh, who are some of your least favorite? No, we'll just,
I'm not going to say.
I know you can't. You can't.
Yeah. I will say most of them are pretty awesome. Obviously, the hot ones right now, the hot ticket is the Kelsey brothers, and truly they are the kindest people. Like Travis, especially, you know, a few years ago before he started dating Taylor, but he is just the kindest, nicest human. Like, he will do anything that you ask of him. He's always great with the fans, great with the kids.
That's awesome.
And then Jason, you know, last year too, it was his first year, and I met him, and he was just as nice. So they truly are like how you see them on, you know, their podcasts and TV and whatnot. Like, they really are like that.
They're real people. Yeah.
Because a lot of times you don't get that. You know, a lot of times it's like fake for the camera, and then like behind closed doors, you're like, wow, they're not the nicest person.
Yeah.
So they're super kind and sweet. I've known Brian Baumgartner from The Office, kept from The Office for years. He's great. He's always, of course, hilarious. And he's been a good friend for a while now. But yeah, I would say, honestly, all of them, like, for the most part, all of them are so nice, especially all the athletes and, you know, all the quarterbacks. Tony Romo, too, he's one that I've known for years because the American Century Championship, I've been going there since I was like 15. And when I was 15 in like high school, though, I was on the driving range helping my dad, and my dad was working for TaylorMade, fitting guys into drivers on the driving range. And so like Tony Romo was one of the guys that we met very early on, and like he still like remembers my name every year and like gives me a hug every time he sees me, and I'm like, I'm so cool. Like, so that's been really cool, and it's fun, like, over the years, just seeing, you know, the relationships grow and the same guys come back time and time again. But one person, I mean, the coolest person that I've ever gotten to meet, and I only have a picture with him, but Michael Jordan. I think it was the last time he was there. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure it was the last year that he was there. I think I was 15, so I don't even remember what year that would have been. But yeah, I got it. My dad, like, fit him into a driver because his team asked, like, my dad to do that. And my dad gave him the driver. My dad was like, hey, he's like, would you do me a favor? Can you take a picture with my daughter? And my dad didn't even ask for Michael Jordan to take a picture with him. He's like, can you take a picture with my daughter? That's cool. So I have a picture with Michael Jordan, which is like the coolest thing in the whole world. I remember I shook his hand, and his hand was just like massive. Giant. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I mean, that was like truly in the presence of greatness. Yeah. So that was cool.
I've met your dad before. Is he still working over at iFit?
No, I mean, he's pretty much retired now. Okay. You know what?
Right on.
We joke around, actually my dad jokes around, that he's like my little assistant. He's my errand boy. Which he truly is, but like he's retired, so he either like is watching my kids for me, or he is walks my dog. He walks my dog every day.
He's got to be playing a lot of golf. Right?
So now he finally is playing golf again.
Okay, good.
So one of his buddies convinced him to get back out and like actually play. So he has like a Tuesday league, I think, that can go out every Tuesday, which I'm really happy for him because golf's easy to get burnt out on though. It's like we go through phases. So I think he's finally like finding his love for it again, getting back out there.
Good.
But yeah, so he's golfing and then he's just helping me do whatever I need him to do.
I have a good Michael Jordan story for you. So you've gotten to meet him. I have not, but I had the opportunity to.
Okay.
Here was what I was stuck in between, okay? So I did an internship. I was in the PGM program at one of the schools that has that. So I went to Methodist in North Carolina. And then you do an internship every summer as part of your accreditation to become a PGA member.
Right.
So this was my final internship. I'm in Chicago. I'm at a private all-men's club called the Old Elm Club. Love that place. Donald Ross design. It's over 100 years old. It's like 180 members. It was fantastic. All walking, no carts. It was so cool. So Michael Jordan's team reaches out. He plays it once a year. And we were closed every Monday. So the head pro was like, all right, guys, here's the deal. I always treat my staff once a year to Chicago Golf Club. It's on this Monday, but Michael Jordan's team just reached out and said that's the day they want to come play this year. You can either caddy for his group. Adam Scott was the other person in his group. So it was Michael Jordan and Adam Scott. Or you can play Chicago Golf Club. This invite only happens one time, so you got to pick. I played Chicago Golf Club.
No, you didn't.
It's the oldest 18-hole golf course in America.
I get it.
And it was both were once in a lifetime, I felt.
That is a really hard decision.
Tough. Swear to you that happened.
That's rude.
So there were three of us, 3 assistants or interns.
Oh my gosh.
2 of the 3 of us played Chicago Golf Club. The other one did stay back, and Michael Jordan signed a basketball for him. So.
Does he have a picture with Michael Jordan?
I probably. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, this was like.
Dang.
This was like 15 years ago, if you can believe that. But yeah.
That was probably actually right around the time that I met Michael Jordan too, because I'm 32.
Yeah.
I think it was I was 15 or 16 when I met him. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
I went with option B, and I played Chicago Golf Club, and it was fantastic. I remember vividly. And it's cool to see it on TV now for some of the I think the ladies had Ladies US Open or maybe Senior US Open. Yeah. But. Yeah, it's cool to be like, oh, I've been there.
I know. It is cool. I mean, like when you can play a prestigious course, how do you not accept that invite?
You meet Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's so many good ones in Chicago area. I got to play a ton out there. Have you played a lot of golf out there?
No, I haven't. But I hear all the. I mean, obviously, I know of all the golf courses and. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't realize, because, I'm just growing up in my little bubble in California. And then as I got older into college, I was like, man, I didn't realize, all these phenomenal golf courses.
A lot of good courses across the country.
Yeah, I know, right?
Where's some of your favorite courses? Not just locally, but maybe some you've played as part of the golf channel.
Oh my gosh. Well, I actually, for one of my friends, another, golf influencer, but Mackenzie O'Connell, she's now Mackenzie Cartwright, she got married up near Bandon Dunes, so we played, we went for the whole week, or at least 4 or 5 days, and played all the courses there. I mean, that was...
How great is that?
An unreal experience.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I probably played the worst golf of my life because it is so hard and it was windy. And
if you get the conditions bad, it's so tough.
Oh my gosh, the experience was unreal.
Out of this world, right?
It was so cool.
Yeah. I'm sure you've done Pebble and all of those, right?
Yes, and
But where would you compare the Bandon experience to the Pebble experience? It's very different.
It's just different.
I think the golf truist in my mind is probably leaning more Bandon than Pebble.
I agree with you.
But Pebble is Pebble, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really compare the courses. It's the experience.
100%.
Yeah.
My dad and I got to play Cypress together. So
it's the only one down there having play it.
So we got an invite. One of my dad's customers at the time, his friend was, I believe, the maintenance guy there. I forget. Anyway, I don't know. I don't remember the connection. But he was able to get us on. And he's like, okay, here's the deal. it's going to be like first tea time out in the morning.
You're like, great.
It might have been like 7 a.m. or earlier.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care. Like, sign me up. We had, I think, one caddy between the four of us, or I think we only had one caddy. But it was amazing. And it was the day before my birthday. So it was like such a memorable experience. And it was me and my dad, and then my dad's customer and his daughter. So it was like a really cool father-daughter experience. First one's out for the day, like the dew still on the grass. I can just like remember like walking, you know what I mean? Just like the fresh dew on the grass and walking down the fairway. And I remember after we teed off on the first hole, I was like, this is the coolest experience of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, if this isn't heaven, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Like, it was unreal. And the weather, I mean, it was in February, but we got perfect weather. Like, it couldn't have been bluer skies that day. It was wild.
I think you win.
Yeah.
You win on that.
Yeah, it was honestly like the best experience, best golf experience.
Have you done East Coast golf other than Florida?
Yeah, so Florida and then a lot in the Carolinas. We
Nice.
did, me and my friend did like a Best Western, like a influencer thing. So we played some courses in North and South Carolina. It was like this like bestie road trip thing.
Oh, cool.
So that was fun.
Like Pinehurst area or?
No, not Pinehurst, I wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I played there, played in Georgia, played, gosh, not so much in like the Northeast really.
Yeah, me either, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, so played, I mean, good amount of golf, some in Texas, but yeah, so.
Where do you play now, mostly?
I usually I live in Folsom, so I play Empire Ranch is where I
Can't go wrong, right?
I mean, I don't have a membership. The hard part is, and my husband and I, we've talked about, we're like, should we get a membership?
Does he play a lot of golf too?
He does. He tore his ACL last year, so he hasn't really played much in the past year.
Playing hurt.
Yeah.
Can't get those glutes activated with torn ACL,
right. Yeah. So we haven't played much in the past year.
That's a famous Tiger thing. I hope that didn't go. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Tiger quotes ever was, I couldn't get my glutes activated. And if you missed that, you're probably like, why is this guy talking about my husband's ass?
Yes. So funny. I actually didn't hear you say the word activated.
Holy cow.
So, and that even read
terrified when I said it. I was like, she didn't get it. No, she missed it. Right.
It's because I talk a lot, so I was talking over you and not paying attention. It's fine.
It also isn't that funny, but some of my friends that watch this are going to be like,
that is the best quote. And it's funny, actually, now that you say that, because that was like, me and my group of friends, like that was our quote like everyone, every golfer.
For sure.
That's all you would say. Like it was over every meme possible. Like, oh yeah. So, that's funny though.
I was hoping I could work that one in.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You did it, even though it went over my head. Sorry. Dang. But yeah, so yeah, we would love to have a membership somewhere, but then my husband was like, but I'd want all my friends to have a membership there.
Yeah, for sure.
So he's like, I want to play with my buddies. Like, I don't want to, he's like, I don't want to make new golf friends. So
it is hard. It's so hard.
So it's hard. I think eventually one day, maybe if we find a club that, would be fun for the kids to be a part of too, that offers other things. But as of right now, we just play public courses, or if we get an invite out somewhere, then we go play. So.
Do you get to play a lot?
I mean, right now, no.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really in the thick of it with just life, work and kids and all the other things. I feel like even when we do have a free moment or on the weekends, like we're doing a birthday party or like a wedding or a shower or this or that. So life's just busy right now. But I make it a goal. I'm like, at least once a week, I have to go to the golf course, even if that means going to the driving range.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty good about, February was good. January, I didn't even make it out one time. Yeah. But January it also rained a lot. So
it's kind of a brutal winter so far.
Yeah. And then March of this month has been a little hit or miss. But I'm really trying to at least once a week, I got to get out there. So.
I am 27 holes in year to date, so
nice.
Not killing it by any means, but I'm playing.
More than me? I think you're more than me. I don't even know if I've played around this year.
I'm playing tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm gonna go walk Hagen, the good old days.
I love it.
That's why I moved to California. Actually, I moved out here I was working at a club in Florida, and Hagen was where I did my junior year internship when I was in the PGM program. So I got an offer to go to Michigan in the summer and then come back to Florida the next winter as like a seasonal assistant at two nice clubs.
But I was just like, man, do I really want to move my life every 6 months to go to 2 different places across the country from one another? So I decided no, and moved out to California. Yeah. Good choice. And Hagen's where I live. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah. Met my wife my 3rd day out here.
Wow.
At a karaoke bar.
Shut up.
It's now a Walgreens. Yeah, all right.
Wait, what was the karaoke bar?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that, and it's going to kill me that I can't remember.
Where was it?
So right off Marconi and Fulton, across from like the Trader Joe's.
Wow, they had a karaoke bar?
Yeah, back in the day.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
How fun.
It was.
Man, I never went there, but...
It's going to kill me that I'm going to yell it out 30 more minutes and we're finished. You're going to be like, it's the karaoke bar.
That's so fun. How cute. Well, fun. Then you were meant to be out here.
That's what we... Yeah. That's what God said.
Yes. Yeah. That's really cool.
Nice. So, can we talk about real estate, actually?
Yeah.
Really interested by that because, I mean, I do some transactions with different real estate agents. Some people call us for inspection help.
I was going to say, I'm going to call you next time.
I owe you a favor, so the next one's on me. But other people is like, hey, I've got a great listing potentially, but it won't sell what the roof has is. So then, fortunately, we've made some relationships there to be the go-to. What do you feel like is the state of the real estate market right now? Is it kind of flat to down?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. I think it's what everyone's saying right now is it's heating up.
Good.
So I think everyone is feeling like it's heating up. We're getting a little more inventory. And I think buyers are kind of like back into the market. So I kept telling everyone, last quarter of Q4 of last year, I was like, it is dead, and all my clients were like, we're just gonna wait, we're not ready yet, we're gonna wait. And I was like, I have a bunch of sitting ducks right now, and I said, at some point this is gonna just explode. And what do you know, after Super Bowl, it has exploded. Like, everyone is ready. All my buyers are like actively looking right now. My sellers finally were like, we're ready to list. So, and I mean, real estate is seasonal. I mean, like... Yeah,
so like school coming to an end, that's big, right? Yeah. Summertime is...
So in January, February, it's still a little slow because it's kind of coming off of winter. I mean, after Super Bowl, I don't know what the stat is about Super Bowl or the reason. Yeah. But after Super Bowl, people are like ready. So then you kind of see like more inventory coming on the market and buyers ready. So springtime, that's why they say spring is the best time to sell. Also, everything looks beautiful. So a lot of curb appeal,
blooming
everything's blooming and pretty. So like springtime, it starts increasing, and then, summertime's hot, but then by the time kids go back to school in August, is when it starts coming back down again. I think it's just something to do with, and especially June and July is kind of, that's when it starts slowing down because people are out of town, they're vacationing, it's summer. And then August is really when it starts tapering off again. It doesn't mean people are not buying and selling. They are, but it's just a little bit slower. And then as we get into the holidays, then it's...
Nobody's thinking about moving.
moving.
Yeah, for sure.
But, that's good for sellers. A lot of sellers are like, oh, I don't want to sell in winter because no one's looking. And I'm like, but those are the buyers that are super serious because they probably have a pretty important reason of why they have to move. So I'm like, even if you have to sell in the winter, I feel like your buyer pool, yes, it might be a little smaller, but they're a little bit, in my opinion, more qualified and just more ready to go, and more willing. So yeah.
Do you see rates like stabilizing, maybe even going down?
Yeah, I don't know about going down. So everything I've been reading and hearing and from our in-house lender is that rates are pretty much projected to stay right around where they're at. So it's probably going to hover around the low 6s. Yeah. It's probably not going
Which still historically is not bad at all.
It is not. We just all need to erase like 2020 to 2022 from our memory.
Yeah.
That is never
maybe one more time in our life, maybe, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that was such an anomaly, and I know it's hard for everyone, sellers and buyers to just wrap their heads around what the interest rates are now. But like you said,
this is normal.
6 is pretty darn good, all things considered. So, if we could get into the 5s and just stay in the 5s, I feel like that would be really good. But yeah, I've everything that I've heard and researched, it seems like we're kind of going to stay right around the 6s and throughout the rest of the year. So, which is good though. No big hikes.
No, I agree.
Yes, no dips into the 5s or 4s, but also it should be pretty steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about home value? You see those. So when someone is considering, hey, do I buy a roof now? now or do I wait until next year?
Yeah.
Maybe the price will come down. I always tell customers that today's the cheapest it'll ever be.
Yep.
You think it's the same?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you could pull stats from back to the 1950s. Every year there has been an appreciation in home value. Homes will always appreciate. There was, I think I went to a seminar and he had this where it was from like the 1950s to now, every year. And there was only 2 years where the home values didn't go up.
Wow.
And I think it was once in the recession, somewhere around 2008 probably. And then there was another time before that, I want to say maybe it was the 90s. I forget exactly what time period. But so only twice in the past.
In 70 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where homes haven't appreciated in value.
Yeah.
And that was the national average.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you know, when we talk about home value, like it's so different between different markets. But for the most part, most likely your home is going to appreciate in value.
So it's still a good time to get in.
So
right?
it is. So it's like if you're thinking, well, should I wait right now? Home prices are always going to go up.
Yeah.
So I always tell my clients, I'm like, if you can afford it, if you can make the payment, if you have a good amount of cash that you can put for a down payment, now would be the time to buy.
Yeah.
Because homes are just going to keep increasing and keep getting more expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know it's scary, but like it's going to be even scarier if you wait another year or two. Like, I mean, unless we go through some sort of big crash, which from what I've learned and researched, it's probably not going to happen.
It's hard to predict exactly,
but hard to predict.
But I mean, let's be real. Like, the likelihood is very low.
Yeah, and I'm also like, do you really want to buy in a crash? Like, I don't know if that's actually the best option.
Yeah.
Like, because is your job super secure? Like, what if the market crashes and you're out of a job?
Sure.
Well, then you can't buy then, you know? Yeah. So I don't know.
We bought our first house right before our son was born, so 2017. And it was really uncomfortable for both of us at that time. But it was like, it ended up being the best decision we ever made, because like we were stretching ourselves kind of not up to our limit, but pretty darn close, right? So, but then, you know, we never really looked back.
Right.
And I think that kind of getting over that hump is important for any buyer. Yeah. But I mean, we then did look back and say, gosh, what if we bought 2 years ago? What if we bought that condo we looked at 2.5, 3 years ago? We'd be able to rent that. We could have gotten a bigger house. So yeah, if you're thinking about it, do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Invest in some California land.
Yes.
Holy cow,
my gosh.
right?
No kidding.
I don't see that ever going down. Are we still, it's funny, we're in that PTC phase, my wife and I, of like kids in school. So we're going to these fundraisers and meeting people, other parents. We have a lot of parents at our school that are from the Bay Area and have moved up here recently. Yeah. Is that still a big thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen a slowing of it, especially now. Like a lot of
people are going back to work.
A lot of those companies are requiring that you're in the office now 5 days a week. So yeah, I'll be interested to see too what I am really looking out for. We had a lot of people obviously come here from the Bay Area, but we also had a lot of people move to other states and out of state. So I'm wondering too, I'm like, are we going to see a little, and I don't think it's going to be a big influx, but like a little influx of people coming back to California? Because I'm also hearing, you know, I feel like, and on social media, you always see like, screw California, we're going to Texas or Florida or Tennessee or whatever, it's Idaho. Like,
it's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
Everybody that doesn't live in California has the meanest things to say to us.
100%. But I feel like we might see a little bit of, you know, coming back to California.
Okay.
I just feel like, especially too with companies requiring that you be in office, you know, 5 days a week or at least a few days a week. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I'm intrigued to see. And I also feel like a lot of people moved to these other states thinking that they would love it so much more. And in reality, they realize their problems are still there.
Yep.
So I think everyone, you know,
just in a place that gets a lot colder.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Just in a place that the weather is a lot worse. You have to drive 30 minutes to a Target.
For sure.
Like I just feel like people kind of didn't think about, and people also too thought, oh, my dollar is going to go so much further out there. Well, not anymore. I mean, I look at homes in Idaho and I'm like, that home is 1.5 million. Like, you can find that home here for 1.5 million. Like, there's
Nevada.
Yes.
Like northern Nevada.
Yes.
We have family in Gardnerville and Minden. You may as well be in Roseville.
Totally. I'm like everywhere else because everyone, you know, moved to all these other places. I'm like, all these other places are actually just as expensive now. As far as homes. I mean, and I would imagine the other states, you know, when we talk about cost of living, I'm like, they're probably not paying you as much as they would if you were here in California. I mean,
fair.
I mean, imagine if you were a nurse or a doctor, you probably get paid more in California than you would in.
Fair point.
You know, so it'll be interesting to see what happens over like the next 5-10 years.
It will.
Yeah.
So you talked a little about, just stumbling. See, here it comes. I made it 45 minutes and now I can't talk. There's no alcohol in this. I haven't had booze in almost 60 days.
Really? What's
cool?
The reasoning for that?
Just wanted to take a little break.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And I set the goal of 100.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I'm going to stop at 100.
Wow.
Because I did.
The whole year?
Oh, I might, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you know, I found a little cheat code there.
Uh-huh.
Athletic Brewing. God, if you're watching this and you want to sponsor
yes, do it.
The big fella. Come on.
Wait, what is it?
It's non-alcoholic beer.
And is it good?
It's so good.
Because some non-alcoholic beer is not good.
Yeah, it's not O'Doul's.
Yeah.
All right? And it's definitely not
My
O'Doul's.
grandpa used to drink O'Doul's.
So it tastes like you're having a real beer, but it's like half the calories, which I think is part of their slogan, the athletic thing.
Yeah.
But it totally like scratches the itch that, hey, I want to drink, but I don't want to have booze.
Yes.
So I'm drinking the athletic brews.
I love it.
I did. I really did.
Okay, noted. I love that. Because
Yeah.
part of the thing with drinking is just the social aspect of it,
For
right?
sure. But like, I'm pretty good at it. I'm not going to lie to you. So like, it was time to like pull the reins. And I have felt so good. I did it 2 years ago. I made it almost 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to a wedding of my wife's, and like her family, awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
They have a very nice taste for wine. And we had some great wine.
Sure
we had like Opus One and Camus and all this stuff. I'm like, well,
you're
it
feeling
ends
good after
tonight.
one glass.
Yeah, for sure. That was the other problem. But no, I've really enjoyed this. So where was I going with that? We were talking about something. Oh, this. I looked at this.
Kombucha?
Yeah, this doesn't have booze in it. Don't want anybody to get the idea. That's not why I'm slurring.
Yeah.
But you talked about social media. So you have a very nice social media following. That's got to have its ups and downs, I would imagine, right?
Yes.
You get some randos in the DMs, has that toned down a little since you got married?
Definitely toned down since I got married,
Good.
and then kind of toned down since I got. I guess I don't want to say out of the golf world, but since I'm like not fully invested in the golf world right now, which sounds so bad, but I mean, really when I started,
You're catching strays from the golf boys?
But really, no knock on golfers out there, male golfers. I love you. But, it was when I guess I got into the social media world, the golf industry is really what's kind of started. It was like, a right place, right time.
Yeah.
The golf influencing golf media world kind of just started developing, and it kind of became a thing, because before that it was like fitness was already like there's fitness influencers out there.
Sure.
So, and golf is always like it lags behind a little bit, but yeah, so it was right place, right time. But a lot of it too is just like the male golfer trying to look at a young girl who can swing a golf club well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it was in the beginning. So it's definitely been an interesting shift for me. Getting married, having kids, not being fully in the golf world, and being more, into real estate now. But for the most part, my followers have always been very respectful too. And I think it's just because of the energy that I bring.
Yeah.
I'm not out there, maybe a little bit when I was younger, but I'm not out there trying to like flaunt myself and, get that kind of attention.
Yeah.
So I think, if you're not out there doing that, people will probably be pretty respectful. So, but yeah, so it is interesting though, because at one point, I think I got up to like 80-something thousand followers. And then since getting married, having kids, getting into real estate and kind of like getting out of the golf world, I'm now down to like 67,000. But like,
You got rid of the bad ones.
yeah, but I'm like, wow. I'm like, people really they don't like me. They just liked this idea of me. So it is kind of weird. I'm at a good place with social media now, though. Like, I just post what I want when I want.
Nice.
I don't really.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I don't have a rhyme or reason. I try to make good content. I don't want to be like posting crap out there, but I try to have like a reason behind it. I'm like, okay, what's the reason I'm posting this? Am I trying to encourage someone? Am I trying to inspire someone? Am I trying to educate someone? So I try to kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to post what makes me happy and what I think that, people will want to see in here, and maybe a message that I feel like someone might need.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
Kind of like that's kind of what I try to do now with it.
I had a total fanboy moment years ago. You came and played at the Mark McAvoy kind of legacy tournament. It was a guy that was suffering from I can't remember what the illness was, but he's no longer with us. He passed away. It was at Hagen Oaks, and you're friends with one of my producers, Danielle.
Yes.
And she had you out to that thing. And
Yes.
I saw you, and I was like, that's Nikki B from the Golf Channel. And my wife was like, who? And I was like, I gotta ask her if she'll take a picture with me.
Oh my gosh,
you did take a picture
so
with me.
Great.
And then I looked for it for this podcast so that I could post it as like
Did you find it?
I couldn't find it.
Dang.
My wife had to have deleted it. She's probably like, who is this?
Nikki B. Dudley.
Yeah. I hoped so much. I've spent way too long looking for it the other day because I was like,
funny.
I gotta show her this. This was like 7 or 8 years ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah, no, I remember this. That's so funny. And I
now
remember,
full circle.
I
Here we
told
are.
you because I was like, I recognize him from somewhere. So
I think I went about it very cool, calm, and collected.
I don't remember you being a weirdo.
Okay, right on.
So
Boy, I've lost way too much sleep over the years, but glad we cleared the air.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I've had my embarrassing moments too. I mean, oh my gosh, that American Century Championship. Because I feel like working for Golf Channel and meeting a lot of people, it's been good. I mean, at first I would be super starstruck, but now I'm at a place where I really don't get starstruck anymore. But even in the beginning,
even today.
Even today I wasn't starstruck.
Even today, yeah.
Sorry.
All right, well, it's okay.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so I feel like but I remember I have probably far too many stories of me like saying the wrong thing or getting like, what do I say? Or like getting, I don't know, all freaked out.
Like me with Luke Combs. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we need to go back to that. I need to hear all about that.
I'll tell you about that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I do want to ask you another thing about social media.
Yeah.
And this is like more your opinion than anything. Mm-hmm. My wife and I talk about this a lot. Mm-hmm. Your kids are a little younger than ours. Yeah. We're a long way from like the phone days. But our son is 7 and is already asking like, when am I going to get a phone?
Oh no.
So like, are you seeing like younger and younger kids start to engage and get on social media? Or is it not really as big of a deal as my wife and I think it is?
No, I think it is a big deal.
Yeah.
I had just seen something on social media about how kids are, so it's interesting. Kids are not, there's not as many teen pregnancies right now. There's not as many kids, there's not as many kids choosing to drink right now. There's not as many kids, there was a bunch of different stats. And at first, you would look at those and be like, oh, wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
But then the guy was like, no, it's because they are not being social. He said, because they are on their phones, and that's their way of being social. They're hiding behind a screen instead of, doing the stuff that we did when we were kids.
Yeah. I didn't get pregnant when I was a teenager.
Sorry. No, I'm not getting super specific here. But like.
Just kidding.
But. Oh my gosh. But, not like, I think it's great that kids aren't drinking. And I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, you're not condoning that.
I'm not condoning underage drinking. But I think that they're not being social. They're not, being in person with one another and having these conversations face to face.
It is scary, kind of the route we see this next generation going.
Yes.
My dad was a school administrator for his career. So when he retired, he was the assistant superintendent of the school system that I grew up in. I grew up in Virginia, but similar size school system to like Loomis Union School District.
Okay.
We have good family friends that have a senior in high school, and both of that kid's parents work. So he helps out and like picks the kid up 2 days a week. And he said from the second he gets in my car until we get home to his house, he is on his phone.
Yeah.
Like not a word is said. And I'm like, man, is that more common than I realized? And he goes, I think it is. I think that's just what kids do now. Yeah. And that's a little scary. Social media can be a very powerful tool and benefit for certainly us as business owners and you and your career. But it can be pretty poisonous too.
I know, 100%. Right? I mean, there is something to be said. Social media can be good and it can offer, some comfort or even inspiration to people. Like there was actually a kid from my church. He said that he found God through TikTok.
Wow.
And I was like, and he shared his testimony with me and I was like, whoa. Like he said he was on TikTok and he saw a video and it was talking about God and that's when he was like, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior that day. And I was like,
wow.
So it is powerful.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are people who need a message and it can be received through social media. However, I feel like we're just losing that face-to-face communication and we're losing just the social cues and the social dynamic of in-person conversations. So I mean, I'm going to try my hardest. We'll see how this goes. But I have you heard of like a Mormon phone? Like they call it a Mormon phone. Maybe it's like basically like an iPhone, but like the only thing you can do is text and call.
Okay.
So like,
yes,
because I know in this day and age, it's probably going to be really hard to not have not allow phones for your kids. But to have a phone that like can't do any of the social media apps.
Lauren jokes she's gonna get her son a flip phone when he turns 16.
I'm like, Razor, let's go. Exactly. Oh my gosh! I'm like, I'll bring out my pink Razor for my daughter one day. She'll be like, "What is this?" But that
was awesome 25 years ago.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I wish I still had it. I wish I would have kept it.
Yeah.
But
like one of my favorite phones too.
Oh yeah.
I had the red one.
So great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bono one. So actually.
No way.
Yeah. Some of my proceeds went to AIDS people in Africa.
See, I love that.
I could have worded that so much better. Holy cow.
It's fine. Yeah. I understand what you were saying.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you've been so gracious with your time. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to chat? You want to go over anything? You want to plug anywhere?
I guess my real estate business. I mean, always looking for new clients. So if you know of anyone, send them my way.
Yeah,
absolutely. I work with both buyers and sellers. I say I'm like a golf course specialist because I did grow up on the golf courses and I know all the golf courses very well here. But I help everyone from first-time home buyers to people looking for investment properties. So I feel like if you're in the Sacramento area, come my way.
You won't find her under Nikki B. Nikki. Please don't make me try and pronounce your last name.
Yeah.
And I mean that. No offense to your husband whatsoever. I'm sure it's a wonderful family.
My parents literally were like, "Are you sure you want to change your name?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess that's a part of the thing. So I was Nicolette Bondura. That was my maiden name. Then I got married and I'm Nicolette Arstingstall. Arstingstall.
Yes.
I mean, once you figure it out, it's like you say it and you spell it how it sounds. But anyway, it's just harsh. It's like Arstingstall.
What is the lineage of Arstingstall? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I've heard English or German.
Your maiden name, obviously Italian, right? We're going to go with that?
I don't know. No.
Has to be, right?
You would think.
Yes, I would.
But Italian doesn't pop up when I do any of my ancestry, like my 23andMe.
Yeah.
So, and
it was like 94% Irish, English, Scottish.
Really?
Oh yeah, like 94%.
94%.
Just those
That's
three.
Crazy.
Like you look at me, you're like,
yeah, that makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah.
No, I'm like a European mutt. I'm mainly actually, and I think when my grandpa came over, I think it was like it must have been like. I don't know if it was Bondurant or Bondarovsky or something because
some Spanish.
No, like
Bondarovsky.
Yeah. So like Russian because I'm like Czech, Polish, Hungarian, So I don't know.
I heard Bondurant and I was like, I thought Spanish, but
yeah, maybe I don't know. I have no idea what I am.
Yeah.
So anyway, so real estate.
Okay, gosh, sorry about that.
But I mean, you can find me on Instagram. It's at Nikki B Golf, NIKKI. And then I mean, I'm also a spin instructor. We didn't even talk about that. But
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wear a lot of different hats. So.
I was a bit of a Peloton whiz back in the day. So
yeah. See, I never did Peloton. Found the studio I go to or teach at now after the pandemic because it was like one of the first ones open and they offered childcare. I'm like, sign me up.
Nice.
Yeah. So love it there. And then, I think that's pretty much it. And then American Century Championship, I'll be back at that again this July, which I'm excited about.
Terrific.
So, that's pretty much it.
All right, I always end the show this way.
Okay.
I want the best piece of advice you've ever gotten. Sorry, I should have prepped you for that.
Ooh, best piece of advice.
Yes.
I've ever gotten. Oh.
It can be two if you're really, stuck in between.
Well, I'll just say what came to my mind first.
Yes,
and
please.
Since you did mention God, and I'm a believer, my best piece of advice is walk by faith. We go through a lot of trials and tribulations on this earth, and we're not promised, a good life here on earth. We're promised that we will go through these trials and tribulations. Something that I have learned in my life and in all the hard moments is if I just continue to walk by faith, God will provide and God will protect. So that's my piece of advice.
Nikki B, thanks for coming. Nikki Arstingstall.
There you go, you said it right.
Nailed it.
Good job.
All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.